Welcome to Module 2. This is where you'll be deciding on your goal for the first milestone. I know that you've done the assessment and you might feel a little bit overwhelmed. You might feel that there is a lot to be done. You might think, me and my team, we don't have these capabilities. We haven't been trained for these ones. And something that I hear sometimes a lot from my client is this: I don't have control on so many of these things. But I want you to remember something so later on you can remind others that you don't have to do all of these things at the same time. Of those 103 items, remember, not all of them needs to be done at the same time. Second thing is that I'm here to help you to prioritize, to find out which one are your focus areas, and also to help you to tell you which one of these things are important for your team to be able to accept the change and ease into it. Remember, having milestone is something that will help you move forward. It's like when we go for rock climbing, you put a hook and you pull yourself up, and then the next hook. That's exactly the same way we're going to work together. Now let's review all the concepts that we're going to cover in this module. In this module, we'll be covering 4 topics. Number 1 is that you're going to be able to decide on goals. And first thing that you need to choose is that you're going to focus on putting in place fundamentals or improving the flow of work if fundamentals are already in place. Second thing is that you're going to decide on which parameters you want to focus on. Of those 103 items, there's only a subset that you need to focus based on your first decision. Number 3 is about the success criteria for each one of those metrics. Remember, the score was starting from 0 and it was going to 4. For anything that is around 0 and 1, you would want to bring that to 3 or 4. You want to make that decision now. After this one, number 4, you will be able to start to talk to your wider team about your plans and your ideas. Great. Now let's look at Milestone 1 tab. As you can see, there are a couple of new columns here that they are defining Milestone 1. And there are 2 columns, Fundamental and Flow, that as you can see, they have highlighted the parameters that are associated with each one of these goals. You can see here the scores from your current status has come to this column. And here is where you can actually make a decision. It's super easy. Please scroll down all the way, and if in this column you see a lot of 1s and 0s, that's definitely where you want to be focusing on. If you see a lot of 3s and 4s, probably that's the time that you can be focusing on improving the flow in your organizations. Next thing, look at column E where you define your first milestone. Put a rough date around when you want to achieve this milestone and go through each parameter and set the score as a success criteria for this milestone. Once you do that, at the end, you're going to get a total score. And once you go to the radar, you should be able to see an updated version of this radar that has your milestone 1, and your baseline. Just make sure when you come to this Excel, the pivot table here is updated so you get the actual representation of your decision. Great. Now let's have a look at a way to capture your finding and observation in a PowerPoint pack. This is for later use. When you start, there's an executive summary. Let's do this one at the end. Let's go to the assessment section, and here where I would need you to place a snapshot of your current state and first milestone the way you have designed it. Second, let's dive into insight for each section. For each section of the radar, remember there's 16 bands, you would have a box like this that you will place the things the team is doing really well and the things that you want to focus on next step. Remember, about numbers is not really important. What the numbers are, just use it as a visual representation of progress. Another thing that is really important when you're capturing doing well, I want you to be kind and fair to your team members. And if you see some things happening in your team, that's great. Just put it there. Carry on with completing these parts as you go through the 16 aspects of change, and you will arrive at when you want to communicate next focus. Here is where you will be able to put a couple of steps that will look ahead. If there is any specific thing that you would need support with, you can capture it there. And if there is any call outs. Remember, we'll come to this pack later on and we'll complete it after module 3. If we jump back to executive summary, this is where you will talk about when you did the baseline and what was the original score. And depending on your decision about working on fundamentals or improving flow, you would only need one of these paragraphs. So please delete the one that you don't need. After a couple of sprints, again, this is based on the decision that you will make later on. Team will be doing a self-assessment and you will write the next steps after that. Well done. You have now completed the assessment of your current state. You have decided on your goal for the first milestone, and you have captured all your observations and findings in a presentation pack for later on. I've got a bonus for you. I have listed a series of activities that only you can do to fast forward your Agile transformation. These are the things that nobody tells you. I've put them all in one video in the bonus section of membership area next to the rest of course modules. Definitely go there and check it out. It will significantly help you, I promise. Before we close this lesson, I've got a couple of actions for you. First, I want you to go and polish the pack. Second one is remember that you can always go to our members area and share your questions and concerns. I'm always there to support you. Please reach out. Also, there are other team members that will be able to help you, and you can get their input and insight as well. Thank you so much.